Van harte uit, directeur van het AIDS-fonds, Mark Vermeulen.
If it's okay, I'll do it in English because I understood that two of my colleagues stood here before in the last 2 years. We're very thankful for this special relationship that we have with you. We have some English guests, so I'll do it in English if that's okay for everyone here. Thank you so much for this invitation. It's so very special to be here with the Queen fan club, fan community, on what I feel is for you a very important and special day. So we feel very much in gratitude for you to be here. And also thank you for your commitment and your connection to HIV over all these years. Before I start, I want to share something with you about my own personal connection with HIV. I got my own HIV diagnosis in 2007, a different time than when Freddie had his diagnosis, also a different time than we're living in now. But at that time when I had my diagnosis, I already realized that for me, it was no longer a death sentence. There were medications, there was a future, but for everyone getting an HIV diagnosis, it sets your world on its head. It's a big thing for you to deal with. I was in a lucky position to have a lot of loving friends and family, but also really realized after a couple of months that my position was really thanks to that generation that came before me, that fought so hard for that treatment, the access to treatment, the doctors, the researchers, the activists, but also people like Freddie, who in one way or another gave public awareness to the need to do something. And for me, that created the need to do something back. We were just discussing it already for 15 years now. I've been working with AIDS-fonds, and in the last 6 years in this role as executive director. And for me, the motivation is to make sure that everybody in the world has the same opportunity in living with HIV as that I had. And I think as many as you sit here, you have some awareness around HIV, and that you know that the story of HIV, unfortunately, is different. There is still a lot of inequality around HIV. It really matters where you live, who you love, who you are, whether or not you have a government that cares for you, if you have access to treatment. But there also was a lot of good news over the last decades. Let's be honest about that. More people than ever on treatment. The treatment works so well that you can't transmit the virus anymore. That was a huge breakthrough. We have the HIV prevention pill. It's basically like the anti-conception pill. You take it not to not get pregnant, but not to get HIV. A huge breakthrough. So there has been these breakthroughs, and for a long time we were really optimistic about achieving a world without AIDS in 2030. And then the world shifted. Earlier this year, President Donald Trump, with one signature, ended the largest HIV program in the world, a program that kept 15 million people on treatment from one day to the other. So there was no way to prepare for that decision. And other governments followed with their cuts. And behind every cut, there is a person. And I shortly want to introduce you to two of these people. That's Salma and her daughter, Ama. Salma is 36, her daughter is 14. They live in Nigeria. Ama was born with HIV and lived a very healthy life. Had her medication, went to the clinic, went to school. But all of a sudden that stopped. And for 3 days, her mother went to the general hospital to wait in line to see if they could get medication there. The waiting number ticket that she got every day was around 300, 317, 327, 330. She was never seen. And after 3 days, her employer said, if you're not coming to work for the 4th day, you don't have to come anymore. So she decided to go back to work. And so many people now face this threat. And Alma asked her mother, will I die? Is this what is happening? And I think that that question is really reflecting what is happening at a global scale now. We know that with this decision, we are expecting in the next 4 years 6 million extra new HIV infections. and 4 million extra people dying of AIDS in a time that is completely unnecessary. So that future looks bleak, but we at AIDS Fonds, we have decided that we will not accept that future. We are really committed to keep funding going to prevention and treatment programs, and there is also good news. There's huge medical breakthroughs. We now have medical innovations for prevention where young women, for example, can get a shot once every 6 months and they're fully prevented from HIV. No longer 1 pill per day, but 1 shot every 6 months. A huge breakthrough that we're investing in. We're still investing in HIV cure research because we want people with HIV to be able to be cured one day. And we're fighting every day with activists, with doctors and nurses to keep clinics open there where they're most needed. And it's thanks to our donors, to legacy giving, but also supporters like you here in the room that we're able to save lives every day. So thank you for that support. Coming back to Freddie, you all know much more, but I had a really big lessons already today learning about Freddie. I think at discussing with people at work, I think one of the things that we look to him and seeing what he brought to the world is to learn about the different forms of love. Unconditional love, unexpected love, brave love. There were all sorts of loves that he introduced to the world. And we at AIDS Fonds do our work for all that is love. We feel that every love is worth protecting, whether that's a really sexy love for one night, or whether that's the love of a lifetime between a mother and a daughter. Everybody has the right to love fearlessly. That's our mission. We're very happy to have your support. So thank you for standing with us over all these years. Thank you for keeping the spirit of Freddie alive. And together we are making a real difference in the fight against HIV and AIDS, especially also in these really uncertain times. So thank you so much and have a really lovely evening. Thank you.